Yo, what's up? It's Jack. Rumours about the Matrix 4 film are hotting up faster than Uncle Roger's wok, with a reported plot leak, which is more interesting than wondering what the Queen of England has in her handbag. My guess is there's a cherry flavoured lip balm, a taser, a family picture with Meghan's face cut out, £1,000 in £50 notes, the TV remote, and one of those little miniature pots of Tiptree strawberry jam. Anyway, now, the YouTuber that allegedly got on his hands on the entire plot of The Matrix 4, claiming that he's a source and he's seen the entire movie, unless he's just like this guy.
On holiday in Spain one year, me and my mate took a peddler out and we went to Africa.
Do you think you could spare us the bullshit for 1 minute?
Seems to be legitimate though, as YouTube deleted the video after a copyright claim from Warner Brothers. However, in this video, we're going to explore what clues The Matrix 4 will be dropping into the idea of the simulation theory. Just to preface this, if you have no idea what the simulation theory is, where the bloody hell have you been all your life? No. But if you want a full breakdown of the simulation theory, go to this video where I go into depth on it, then come back to this video, or just watch this video all the way through and then go to the other, forget it, whatever. Many people were surprised when the Wachowski siblings announced that they were working on a 4th instalment of the Matrix franchise, especially because the Matrix 3 was shit. Nah, it was alright. The original film trilogy kind of wrapped things up. Spoiler alert! This video contains the plot, only a little bit of it. So, you know, if you don't want to know, you can just F off. I used to love the Matrix films, and I've seen them so many times, I'm surprised I don't have an American accent and no kung fu. I'm also surprised I didn't buy myself a long leather jacket down to my ankles in a pathetic attempt to look trendy and shortcut respect, because we all know it just has the opposite effect. In this video, we're exploring the leaked plot for the film and what clues this gives us towards the philosophy of the simulation theory. In short, the simulation theory seeks to prove what we call life is actually a simulated reality run, most likely, by a super intelligent race, likely being ourselves in the future. And this world could be an ancestor simulation, which means that we are living the lives of our ancestors in their journey through the growth of humanity, from when we were first seeded on this planet to when we first crawled on land to the invention of the internet. You are all of those people at once, because you and I are the same. We are one. We are God experiencing itself subjectively as individuals as we race towards the future and towards the moment that we invent the technology to enter said simulation. Now, there could be multiple versions of simulations we invent before we get to the one that we invent that puts us into this world. I know my mind is struggling to comprehend what I'm saying too, but it's like the Oculus VR machine. There are multiple versions of it and they keep bringing out new ones. Well, the simulation we're in could be the simulation 50. Now, you could argue that the Matrix movie single-handedly brought the simulation theory into popular mainstream discourse. Knock it off with the fancy words, mate. Alright, I mean, they made people talk about it because now we have a reference point. So, what does the new plot for The Matrix 4 tell us about the continuation of the simulation theory? Here's the plot. Allegedly, The Matrix has been updated since the last film and takes place 60 years after Revolutions. There are loads of self-referential jokes about the movie reboots, and this in itself is a bit of a soft reboot to the series. The film begins very similarly to the first movie, with agents chasing down a character called Bugs, played by Jessica Hendrick. I'll just have to Google her, as I don't know who you are. Jessica Hendrick? No, absolutely no idea. No idea. Apparently, Morpheus is now an agent played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Don't know who he is, but is a bootleg copy of the original Morpheus, who is now dead. When Neo updated the Matrix, he created his copy of Morpheus. Okay, now it's getting complicated, isn't it? Neil Patrick Harris, that's this guy who seems to have lost most of his neck, plays a villain called the Analyst, and is also Neo's therapist. Basically, Neo is alive and has flashback to the events of the other films while forgetting who he actually is. The plot essentially is about Neo trying to reconnect with Trinity, who is still alive, and become the One once more. In a twist at the very end, it's revealed that Trinity has powers of the One, and the two work together in a visually amazing fight. Good to know that there's going to be some fighting. What does this tell us about whether the film will continue to explore the idea of the simulation? Well, from that initial synopsis, what it's hinting at is the Matrix or reality has been rebooted. Now, if this world is indeed a simulation, it could be theoretically rebooted at any time.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
And how would we know? We're not trained to know. It's not really in the interest of the people who run the simulation for us to know that it is a simulation. Kind of defeats the whole point of it, doesn't it? It's like playing as a character on Grand Theft Auto who just wakes up and stops being controlled by the controller and just sods off to the bar. Obviously, we have to be careful with pareidolia and apatheia, which is where our brains can see patterns in things which do not exist. It's like when you can see a face in the curtains. Not really a face there, it's just your brain playing tricks on you. But there are a number of unexplained phenomena called the Mandela effect, which could feed into the narrative of this being a simulation. Now, on one hand, this could prove that this is a simulation, and on the other hand, could prove the fallibility of a human being's memory. Or it could point to something much more scary. Glitches in the Matrix! Here are some of my favourite glitches in the Matrix. Now, the first one is one I remember, which is the Looney Tunes. I thought I was having an attack of my senses, as I always remembered Looney Tunes as the Looney Tunes, as in cartoons. I was genuinely surprised to hear that it never was tunes, but it was always tunes. Now again, this could be the infallibility of one's memory, and my memory in particular is rubbish. A genie actually gave me a choice once. He said, do you want a longer memory or a longer penis? And I forget which one I chose. Or the Looney Tunes could be a glitch. I remember a different part of history in another simulation where things didn't get changed correctly. Or that could just be bollocks. Other glitches include, obviously, the thing that it's named after, Nelson Mandela's death, which says, Nelson Mandela, who this theory is named after, died in 2013. However, countless people distinctly remember him dying in prison in the 1980s. The Bernstein Bears. The next one is the Bernstein Bears. The lovable cartoon bear family actually spelt their last name with an A, as in the Bernstein Bears. Now, this is according to Google. The Mandela effect is an unusual phenomenon where a large group of people remember something differently than how it occurred. Conspiracy theorists believe this is proof of an alternate universe, while many doctors use it as an illustration of how imperfect memory can be sometimes. Or is it a glitch in the Matrix? Some of the main characters in the Matrix films are the agents, like Agent Smith, who's a big, bad, evil, nasty, wise guy. Now, the agents are working on behalf of the machines against humanity. The idea of the grey suits and sunglasses of Agent Smiths come from the famed FBI, and in particular the apparent men in black who would deal with off-world matters. You know, aliens and shit. Now, it's entirely possible that these agents could be working on behalf of the simulation, who know it's a simulation and are here to keep it running, preserving it, and prevent the people inside the simulation from waking up. Because if the people wake up and realise it's all a game, then the whole game is up, probably. Now, I think that knowing that life is a simulation is liberating, because it just means that nothing really matters, not like we think it does. Remember Neo in the first film? He was depressed because he was searching for the answers, that life is a simulation. He knew it, but he just couldn't prove it until someone showed him. Morpheus. When I say nothing really matters, what I mean is that people worry too much about the wrong things. Of course, things matter, but only because we let them matter. Knowing that life is just a simulation is a chance to calm the fuck down and realise that life is a dream anyway, so you might as well enjoy it, rather than go on doing things that you don't want to do, just so you can keep on going, doing things that you don't want to do, keeping on going, doing things you don't want to do. Ad infra bloody natum. Now, my theory is slightly different from the Matrix, who propose that we're all batteries. I don't think we're all batteries, or we'd have little plus and minus signs on us, wouldn't we? Mind you, people are either positive or negative. I wonder, if you throw one at someone, will he get charged with battery? But because it's a film, it needs to spice the whole thing up, doesn't it? And give the humans something to fight against, i.e. the machines. That's the importance of an antagonist like Agent Smith. If you have nothing to fight against, you stop growing because you don't need to. This film is a reboot, so it will probably stick with the idea that reality is simulated by the machines to keep humans in servitude. Now, this idea is not unviable. If AI grows and learns exponentially quick, it could theoretically turn on us and decide that keeping us still and simulating our existence could prove far more beneficial for it, us and the planet, which is grim and more depressing than a James Corden comedy. My own thoughts are that to continue the franchise, they might explore a little deeper into the simulation theory, with the apparent reboot of the Matrix simulation, and with the knowledge that we've collected over the last 20 years since the first film came out. There could be nods towards Elon Musk and his neural net, or the singularity, towards AI, which run the machines and keep them in servitude, and multiple other signs that we are in fact in a simulation. But more importantly, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below.